Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be able to do this together. We pray that we bless others, but we pray that we don't make our own self stumble, Lord, with our words. Pray preferably that they're not hurtful to one another, that we can glorify you and we can do this by showing people things that we want to do in ways that they can hopefully
So, what we call this? What should we call this? Because this
You
is
said it was a recap
recap.
of last episode, which is code word for I put my foot in my mouth.
No, not code word. I just think that when we had the discussion of things that I think we needed to clear up, and I think it's appropriate that if we had to clean it up or discuss it more intensely behind the scenes, it's only fitting to be sure that what we put out is in line with the word. I mean, we're doing this to be edifying, and at any point that if there was something that maybe wasn't edifying or wasn't lined up, we should correct it. That's just the right thing to do, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's not just about me. I think, yeah, of course, I felt like I was wounded, but I think that what was said needs to be, not that it was bad, but just addressed. I guess that's the best way to say it.
So let me apologize first
Okay.
for not being considerate of your feelings like I should have been. I did not catch at all that you were hurt or that I triggered anything in you. Totally shocked and surprised. After we took the pictures, she was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Huh?" So yeah, I was caught off guard, but I should have knew, right? Like I mentioned last episode, we had just had a last minute dinner with our pastor and his wife, lovely wife, and he warned us. And I spoke to her and said, "Hey, we don't have to talk about it. We could do something else. We don't have to go off the script that we came up with or that's there. We can do whatever we want to do. We could talk about." And she said, "No, I want to do it."
You did say that at lunch, because I was like, I don't remember you saying that, but as you go through the account, it was at the lunch table. You said, we don't have to talk about that. And I was like,
said
no,
it again in the car.
Well, I don't remember the car. That's why I'm like, I don't remember.
Before I took my nap on the way home when you were driving.
I don't remember that. Well, maybe you did. But I mean, it's neither here nor there. We discussed it. And so it was, the episode was emotional versus physical cheating. And it was going fine, I think. The thing that, and if you watch it, you know, hopefully you can get something from it.
I hope you do, because I hope it was worth it to you, because it was worth it to me.
So here's the thing. We're doing this because there's some lessons we've learned. They have not came without their own individual scars. So like, you know, maybe I shouldn't use this analogy, but you know, sometimes people, they see something, they like, well, y'all ain't really been through nothing. And not that it's saying we discussed it to prove that we've been through anything, but the whole idea behind this is it's a labor of love, and it's to be helpful to others, because it has not been smooth sailing. It has not been the perfect picture. You know, you see social media and you're like, oh, that's a nice picture, a nice family, they're cool, you hang out, whatever. But you don't know the stripes that person had to take. You don't know the test that came with the testimony. So we're just trying to be helpful. But in doing so, what is the first thing that doctors have to do before they do anything, as far as when they get ready to operate on patients? It's called the
Hippocratic Oath.
Yes, Hippocratic Oath. First thing they say is do no harm.
Yeah.
So we were warned, we were advised, we were counseled, be helpful and not hurtful. And to Myron's account, I don't think he genuinely admit to be hurtful.
Absolutely not.
But that just shows sometimes there's a distinct difference between intent and impact. So your intent may be to, I'm gonna speak my truth, but you have to think of the other side of that coin, especially as a husband. Just like I need to think about it when I'm talking to you, like the other side of that, like the respect, because I know my tone or my words can cut deep.
Mm.
And I also think that when you are in a relationship, you should have a safe place with them. You should that should be your place of safety. So you should be able to tell some truths, but they should come out filtered so that they don't cause harm. And the only way to ensure your filter is appropriate is one, I think, is a heart check, a spiritual check, and like being in line with the word. And we can still make mistakes because we're human. He ain't Jesus and neither am I. But that's the goal, to strive to be more like our Father, and the Holy Spirit should be dwelling in us, guiding us and helping us navigate this path. I say all that to say there was some things that were said, and the one I want to address, not just for me, but we've already addressed it. Like, what did you immediately do once you found out things went left? I think you should mention that because I think that's important for people to hear.
Yeah. Well, I apologize.
First and foremost.
And then I called the counselor right away because I knew that this was bigger than what I could handle, right? And we were already due for a check-in with our marriage counselor, but it would have been probably a little bit later. But the sense of urgency was there. I was like, I'll take anything. So I wanted to talk to him then, but he was too booked. But yeah, I called the counselor. I appreciate wise counsel, and we've grown a relationship with this gentleman. He's older. He's married for longer. He's been through more, and everything that he has given us really just helps us communicate better. I don't think he necessarily fixes anything, but he makes sure that we hear each other in the point of view.
Yes, I think he's like, you know how they say that sometimes you need a mediator to say what you just said, but they say it differently, so it's received differently. So I think he makes us pause and say, what did you hear? How do you feel? The same things that we could truly do on our own. However, think about if you just got into an accident and your heart is pumping and you have to calmly recount what happened, the damage, you're emotional about, one, let's hope that you're okay physically, but then your emotions, we're chemical creatures. So we amped up. It's fight or flight, who hit my car? Who fault is it? The emotions are high. So I think that when the emotions are high, you're not as calm and collected as you would like to be. Therefore, resolution is hard to get to in a calm manner. And maybe what you're trying to say can't be conveyed the right way because you're too upset. I know for me, I'm just like, just give me a second. Like the other day, you were like, just give me a minute. And I was like, okay. But I immediately took offense, like, I don't got to talk to you then. He basically said, because I'll ask a lot of questions. I'm kind of like rapid fire. And he was like, I need a minute. And I didn't like the tone. I said, oh, okay, I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a whole lot of minutes. And then he had to say, I didn't mean it like that. And so, but it's just communication, is it not?
Yeah.
It's just communication. And he came and he said, I'm sorry. And it took me a minute to bounce back.
A lot of minutes.
It did. So anyway, I think, look, he's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But
I think you're perfect.
I think when you say something and you wound that person, you can't tell them how to feel. You can't explain your way through what it should be if it ain't. It's just, you have to let that person feel what they're feeling, and then y'all come back together and y'all talk about it. So I just want to talk about it was a few things, but the one thing that I think that's worthy of addressing is you made a comment and you said, if you're not giving your husband none and you wonder why you get cheated on, that took the wind out of me. But on camera, I was in disbelief, one. And two, I was just like, if I respond now, it's not going to be helpful. It's not going to be edifying. And then I'm going to have to go back and edit it. So let me just sit with this for a minute and think, is it me or was he wrong? Because sometimes it ain't always the other person. It could be what you dealing with and what you got going on makes it worse than it is, when really it's not that bad. But because of the layers underneath what you have in your spirit or what in your past, it makes it way worse. So for example, let's say somebody had a traumatic event and it had something to do with cheeseburgers. And you get to their house and to go to dinner and they bring out cheeseburgers. And the person really just walks out like, give me a second, I need to go outside. Who would have thought cheeseburgers would be triggering? You just never know what can strike a chord. Now, you should have known when you say, you don't give somebody some, you wonder why you get cheated on, because that's something we dealt with. So for you to say that out loud, it was like, ooh, okay. So I just think that wasn't the message. Which, I mean, is that the message you want to convey?
Well, what I was intending to say is basically asking the women to stop disregarding their husbands' needs and desires. You disregard what they're asking for, what they're begging for. They keep sweat singing on their knees and they get disregarded. And a lot of times us as men feel like we're the only ones that's being disregarded.
And that's fair.
Yeah, like I was saying, everybody else gets you, but the husband. It's not a me thing and you thing. This is something I've been hearing from married men for many years. As soon as you guys get the wedding cake, sex stops, when it should be the opposite. We should be more into each other. The sex should be better now that we have the covenant. Like we should get to know each other more, get to love each other more, and be free to have all the nasty sex that you want to have, right? But instead, it's the opposite.
So,
for a lot of people, not everybody.
So what I would like to say is, one, there's probably various reasons why things change. Two, truthfully, and I know most people don't do this, but you shouldn't be having sex before you get married. You just shouldn't. That's what the commandment says. Have most of us done it? Yes. Yes. So it's not like I'm saying it doesn't happen. But I will say this. Anytime you do something outside of a standard, of course it's going to be exciting and it's fun. And now you come up under a standard. It's almost like, oh, when I work from home, I get to the computer when I want to. I can get my work done because I have freedom, and the restrictions and the rules are not as rigid as if I went to the office for some people. So what I think it is, Sin knows what you like. Sin knows what dress you want to see on a woman, what shape you want on a woman, what physique you want to see in a man, what bank account you want that man. So Sin knows how to attract us with the fleshly things. So if our flesh is involved and engaged, and then we go to get married, and then not only, so we were in one house, or maybe we were shacking up, but now we're together as one, and now there's more to do. There's more to do with life. There's more to do with whatever. It's not an excuse, but the circumstances in which you started change. Now, had you started a covenant the right way, maybe the drive wouldn't be there. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying that men shouldn't get what they're supposed to get, because you absolutely should. That is just what we're here. We're it's bigger than sex. It's bigger than, because not anybody, but if it's just a release, that can get accomplished various ways. But when you are truly intimate with somebody, it's bigger than just the climax. So we have to be careful that the focus is just not on that, because there's so much more to a covenant. And so maybe when you said that, the way you said it, it struck a chord for me, But I wonder how many other people did that affect, that have, because, indiscretion is a big deal. Adultery has always been a big deal in society. Fornication, sexual, immorality or whatever. So I think if we're going to come on here and we're going to talk to people about marriage or covenant, especially from a Christian lens,
Okay.
we should, one, do no harm to each other and do no harm to the word that we profess to believe in. And so that's kind of out of line. And then
What part's out of line?
saying that it's
Don't
okay.
be surprised, because I didn't say it was okay.
Okay. So then that's fair. So
I
then
never said it was okay.
Okay. So
Nor do I think it's okay, nor do I think you think that I think that it's okay.
Okay.
So I never said that.
Okay. All right. Well, and also I think when, like, for us specifically, when we talked about this, like, everybody's desires is different, but for a woman, our desires don't just come from, like, it's what we have going on hormonally, what we have going on psychological, medical, and we still get the job done. I think, though, for you specifically, when you said, because I remember there was a time when, if you were off, because it depends on your schedule, because you've always had a very interesting schedule, just even from my time in the military. But if you were home, you were like, all right, it's morning time, where you at? It's lunchtime, where you at? Okay, it's 5:00, not quite dinner, come talk to me for a second. And I'd be like, I ain't gonna be able to get no dinner done and do nothing else. Like, can I just see you later? Like, for me, I'm just like, and it wasn't all the time, but you were like, well, it's 2:30, what you doing? And so for me, I just felt like it was just too much. It was just too much. Not when I had to do all this other stuff and had all this other stuff going on. It wasn't even exciting. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't intimacy. It was just like, well, come on over here. Come holler at me. And then by nighttime, I'm like, I'm tired. You're like, well, it's nighttime. And so that it just did not, it wasn't fun. And so you want to consider your partner at the end of the day, just like I have to consider your needs and wants, and you have to consider my needs and wants. And at the end of the day, we have to love each other. Love is patient.
Love is kind.
Love is kind. It ain't rude. It don't start slamming doors because it didn't get what it want. And that would be your thing. Like, if you got told no, it was like somebody killed your dog. You would have an outward, like, you would be mad, you would want to leave, and that was totally unloving. And so you talking about putting somebody in a mood, that's the opposite of the mood.
So let me ask you a question. In our over 20 years of marriage, how often have you been told no on anything?
Never, probably.
On anything?
I don't even know but okay. I don't keep a record of what you told me no and yes to. There's probably plenty of things.
Okay, well, give me one.
Trips, maybe? I don't know. I don't sit back and keep a Rolodex of, well, Myron, I asked Myron for this and he said no. Or I wanted some shoes and he said it wasn't in the budget. Because you make it happen. But that's not the scoreboard that it should be. Like, oh, well, since my wife gets like, I don't know, go down the list, then I should never get told no. That's not how that goes.
I get it. But could you perhaps look at it from a different point of view?
Explain the point of view.
Understand, like, for example, as a man, you have a duty to provide, right? You have a duty to provide for your wife, for your children. You're doing all that you can to do that. You're doing all that you can to lead your family the right way. I mean, everything that you are supposed to do as a father, as a husband, you are trying to achieve it. And then you watch your family do well, do everything that they're supposed to do. But it feels sometimes, based off not just my experience of other people, that we as men get left out. Nobody cares about how we feel. Nobody cares about anything that we're going through. Yeah. Like, y'all going through stuff, so do we.
Yeah, for sure.
We're dealing with some dude at the job that would never talk to you like he talking to you at work, because he know if you put hands on him that you're going to go to jail or lose your job. So he know that, so that's why he going to talk like that, right? We deal with so many things as a man, and we come home to get that peace from my wife, the peace of quiet and the peace of them draws. And we need that And we ask for that and we get told no. And it's like, and that's why I express the girl at the job is not going to say no. The lust that you have doesn't leave. The desires that you have don't leave. And I hear men say on podcasts and doctors say, well, you know, you need to be disciplined, you need to be all this. Well, then why are all these people failing at it? Why do we have countless examples in the Bible of men falling into sexual sin? Why do we have countless examples of pastors falling into sexual sin? All the time.
So your question to me is,
Just
because I'm not denying what you're saying.
consider it from the other side, right? Yeah, like you're saying that you have all these things to think about, that you're dealing with all these things, and I'm sure that's a common thing as a mother, because you guys, you're amazing. You do so much for the family. Without you, you know, I know for me, I can speak for me. Without you, our family wouldn't be a quarter of the way of the success that we've been able to have with our boys, been able to graduate in a crazy time after COVID and being able to be accepted to a nice college where they're doing well. They've always, you know, tested higher than their grade level ever since, you know, elementary school. And that's a big part. But as a father and as a husband, I don't want to get left out.
Absolutely.
I want my wife too, because
Absolutely.
I wanted you before they came.
For sure. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. What I am saying is that for every situation, ours included, and those watching, if you focus on what we're called to do, right? I'm supposed to, you know, you head of the household, submit and respect you. You're called to love me like Christ loved the church. And in turn, we both are outdoing each other in love.
Mm-hmm.
You will find that common ground. Your 5, you know, requests for intimacy. If you get 2, God will give you ability to get peace with 2 out of the 5. My day that's hard, that I'm struggling with, and you see I'm struggling with, you will get, you know what, let me take something off her plate and make it better. And then and we will meet in the middle. Therefore, you're not deficient in how you feel and what you need. And I'm not deficient in feeling like I'm loved and cared and taken care of, because compassion and caring for someone is more than just paying the bills. It's more than making sure, you know, that everything is in working order as far as like the money in the account, like the lights are on, the water's hot, you know, and things like that. It's more to it than that, because really it's more to it for a woman too, because I could be your quick fix, but there's more than, you know, me just giving you that desire. It's the compassion in which I do other things outside of that. And together the whole picture becomes beautiful, not just that one piece.
Not disagreeing with you, but just the idea of, you said all these things that you have to do. That's the one thing that if somebody else does, that it will end the marriage, more than likely end the marriage. So maybe instead of, you know, cooking, because that's the best thing for the family, maybe you say, well, it's the best thing for the family, but instead of cooking this 2 days, we're going to go to Panda Express and we're going to get the family $40 thing, and we're going to get this and we're going to get that, and then we're going to come home, we're going to split it, we're going to eat it for 2 days. Or,
and I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that's a proper solution, because like you say, I have been able to create my schedule for a long time now, mainly because of you. So I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but what I am saying is that both people need to be considered and cared for. And I need to be considering and caring for your needs, and you need to in turn do the same. And if that's like we said, it outdo each other in love. And everybody's situation is going to look and feel different. You know, I've had conversations with women in the past, and you know, we may say, you know, it's a daily occurrence in my house, and they like, daily, girl, bye. You know that. So it's going to look different for everybody, and we can't use somebody else's situation as a barometer for our own, because I'm your wife and you're my husband, and that's how we need to make sure we're outdoing each other in love. I'm respecting you, you're loving me, and we're following Christ.
I could remember a time that you told me that, somebody said that, and I didn't say nothing then, but that girl's been cheated on several times.
Again, just because the wife did not do her job or her duty, I'm not saying that's an excuse. But what I am saying, if a man does not have the self-control and the discipline, despite what his wife is able to do for him,
Yeah.
and he goes out and he cheats on her, he's wrong. Just like if the white woman do it, she's wrong. There is no justification for that.
I'm not saying it's justification.
Okay.
But let's just take self-control out. We don't have the self-control. We don't have it.
Okay.
Every example shows you we don't have self-control. If you take 9 out of 10 men, we don't have self-control. So don't think I'm number 10. Think I'm out of the 9. And help me out by providing the desire of my heart, which is to have my wife. That is now, we don't have that problem now. I am blessed beyond measure, and I'm excited that I waited those years when things wasn't going my way, because if I would have found out that you were married again and you were telling this guy yes and you told me no, we'd have had to have a conversation.
Okay. At the end of the day, if you're having problems with anything, whether it's communication, it's intimacy, one got a high, one got a low, what do we always say? You need to take it to the Lord, take it to prayer, and then get some professional help. You just had to get some help. We literally, because one day I was like, I'm done. I'm over this. You might as well just leave some money on the table. I'm done. I'm suffocating and I can't take no more. And I literally left for a week. And I was at my breaking point because I felt like it was only what I could give and what I could provide. And if you didn't get your fix, you were a different person. You were mean. It was just unhealthy. And I was like, I don't understand this. I've done this, and this. And if you ask for 4 and you get 2, you still mad. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I ain't it. And that's just me being completely honest. It just did not feel like love.
That's a lot of honesty.
It's the truth though, because that's where I was. I felt like I was suffocating. But we didn't have a church home. We didn't have nobody really to talk to. And I said, do you have any godly brother that you can talk to? And he was like, I'm not talking to nobody about what's going on in my household. And it was just a rough time. It was really rough. And thank God we got a counselor, and he helped him see some things in a specific way. And he talked to me and helped me see some things in a particular way.
And he said, give him them draws.
Is that what he said?
That's what I heard.
Okay. That's another thing he said on that episode. That is not how that went. But it's okay. It's okay. We don't need to dwell on the past. What we can do is learn from the past and move forward. So we just want to be a blessing though. Like, I mean, yeah. That's all I really want to say. I wanted us to openly and outwardly admit where we went. I feel like we had a misstep. And tell you it was not easy.
It was more of a misstep. I really didn't mean to hurt you like that. I was trying to be honest and tell the truth. And I care about people watching, but I don't care about them enough to hurt you. And I'm sorry, but I did not mean to hurt you by telling my point of view. I'd rather just hold it in. Now, I want to be honest, but I'd rather not talk about stuff or anything that's going to hurt your feelings.
Same. Same. Because I have been a lot. And so I thank him for his patience, with the mental health challenges. And so, again, we are doing this to be a blessing to others.
Yeah.
That's all this is about. It's not about, fame, fortune, or whatever. And if the Lord want to use it, great. If that's going to help somebody else and bring them closer to Christ, then that's what this is about, at the end of the day. But I just felt like we needed to show you that a wound can occur, but you can still move forward. Because I feel like sometimes you can be so wounded that you can't reconcile. But I'm like, Christ forgave us. So who am I not to forgive my husband? He hurt me. I hurt him. But like the love of God covers a multitude of sin and record,
Amen.
and and wrong. And so we just had to reconcile it. And yeah, like Jesus came off the cross and he still had wounds, but he was fully restored. Thomas was like, yeah, nah, that ain't him. He like, nah, put your hand right here. Thomas, you don't believe it. Put your hand in my side. Put your finger in my hand. So we're going to get wounded, but that doesn't mean that we can't move on from them. And we're going to still have scars. But if somebody else can benefit from it, that's what it is.
Well, I sure hope they benefited from it because I paid the cost.
It's life. We love y'all. I love him. He loves me.
Yeah,
And we just trying to,
I think I love you more though.
Here we go. You got any last words? Because this is supposed to be a recap. I don't even know how long it's been. We don't want to be too long. Because
Nah,
it's been quick.
well, I appreciate you accepting my apology. You did accept it, right?
I did.
And I appreciate you moving forward. Again, didn't mean to hurt you, but that's, like you say, the difference between impact and intentions are very different. So
Absolutely. So hopefully somebody else can benefit from it. And as we roll into May, which is going to be, that's a mental health awareness month. Or mental health. More to come. That's it, y'all. Bye.
later. Hold up. Summa cum laude. Yeah.